Welcome to Demo Day, where young innovators take the stage and showcase real-world projects to a global audience. At WEquil School, students learn to become innovators, teaching each other each week through their creations. WEquil App has thousands of novel and useful projects born out of our students' strengths, interests, and passions. But Demo Day is more than just a presentation. It's a celebration of innovation, collaboration, and the power of young minds. Join us on this incredible journey of inspiration as we witness the next generation of problem solvers and leaders. From Harvard professors to industry experts, our demo days attract incredible guest speakers who share their knowledge and ignite curiosity. Whether you're a young innovator looking to showcase your creations or a family seeking an extraordinary learning experience, Demo Day is here for you. Together, let's create a world where young minds flourish, ideas come to life, and innovation knows no boundaries. Join us for an unforgettable journey of learning, growth, and discovery. Welcome to Demo Day.
Actually, someone else can go first. I'm accidentally signed into Stuffy's WEquil App account, so I need.
All right. Sure, I can go first. First, I actually made a video to go along with this that I just published. So I'll just share that really quick. Living anywhere new for a month will shift the way you see the world, especially if it's on the other side of the planet. Here's what I have learned after traveling to India. I didn't notice much difference interacting in person with members of our team. I think it's because virtual relationships are based on shared principles, values, and goals versus arbitrary circumstances such as physical proximity. I now have so much more appreciation for simple luxuries like hot water, clean bathrooms, AC, and laundry machines. Our trip reminded me that what makes the journey meaningful is the struggle. I planned the whole trip, and while it was beyond my comfort zone, I now have the skills to travel across the globe. Of course, my dad could have done everything, but then I wouldn't have the learning experience of doing it myself. Traveling the world is an amazing opportunity to learn about the diversity of humanity, but especially yourself. I highly recommend to everyone to have the experience of traveling the world to get you out of your comfort zone, meet new people, and learn more about who you are, because living anywhere new for a month. All right.
I love the way you ended it with because.
Yeah, and then
loops.
it does the loop. Yep.
Wow.
Okay, so that is kind of the overview summary of my project, but there's a bit more included in my article. And so, as I was saying in the video, a big reason why we went to India is to meet members of our team and students that we've been working with in person. And I didn't really find it like that different to interact in person, just because we had, been interacting for so long virtually and based off of like shared principles, values, and goals. And hanging out in person is always going to stay the same. It's not really going to get all that different, but virtual relationships will continuously get better as new technologies arise, such as the Google Project Starline or Apple Vision Pro. And it's not like it wasn't fun hanging out in person, and some things are hard to do virtually, like singing, dancing in bumper cars. But while I don't discount the value of personal relationships, especially for young people, I think that virtual relationships are incredibly important, and it's actually going to India has strengthened my belief in virtual relationships and communities. So one thing that I didn't include in the video is I learned a lot about kind of education, especially in India. We talked to many teachers, parents, and kids about education, and a lot of them view the US educational system as one that emphasizes practical skills and experiences. And it actually surprised them to learn that it was a lot like the Indian education system, with much more focus on like memorization and testing. And so next is kind of the culture around alternative forms of education. We talked to a lot of people about kind of our philosophy and approach, and many of them agreed with it and saw the value, but there is just kind of a lot of stigma around doing anything different than the traditional route. Also, the culture in India around grades is one that's very competitive, and there's a lot of pressure on kids to do well in school. And so since there are just so many people in India, and your kind of school is an environment of perfect competition, and so that can just be that can put a lot of pressure and stress on kids. We discussed this with one of the teens in India named Lux that we met, on how this is contributing to rising rates of depression and anxiety during our Global School podcast. Next, that I was really surprised to learn about this is the impact of the caste system in education in India. And so while the caste system is losing prevalence and importance, it's still very much impactful on the education system. I learned more specifically about the SC standing for selected caste, primarily known as the Dalits, that were considered untouchable. They faced a lot of forms of like oppression and marginalization, including social, economic, and educational disadvantages. And so now, through many movements and reforms, this has people have been advocating for the rights of Dalits, and now there has been things implemented to promote social equality, such as they require lower scores to get into the prestigious IIT or Indian Institutes of Technology schools, and affirmative action policies, commonly known as reservations, are implemented to ensure representation and opportunities for Dalits. And so that was really surprising for me to learn about. And next is personal growth. I have a lot more appreciation for just like the simple things that we take advantage of in developed countries. And also kind of knowing that that you're kind of resilient, you're anti-fragile. Sometimes you're going to get hurt and sick, but you're going to come back stronger. And so one thing is also what makes the journey meaningful is the struggle. There were moments that were not very enjoyable, but looking back, it made it much more meaningful. For example, we went to visit this Buddhist temple in 104-degree heat. We had to remove our shoes once we got there, and there was this stone pathway under the beating sun, and it was so hot. We were just like running around. It was that was not the most enjoyable experience. And then we couldn't find an Uber, so then we ended up walking for an hour to get to a restaurant, and it was very hot out. We saw some wild boars, some like there's cows everywhere, but then also like wildebeest, and it was very exciting, not the most enjoyable, but looking back, it was an incredible experience. And this quote from the movie Peaceful Warrior is, "The journey is what brings us happiness, not the destination." Next is responsibility. As I mentioned in the video, I managed the whole trip, and that was definitely beyond my comfort zone, but if my dad had just done everything, then I would never have learned to do these things. And also I linked to the research project I did preparing for our trip. Lastly is the social impact. It's hard to know exactly like how people viewed such a strange looking group, given that we don't speak the native language, but we were two people from America, one from Kenya and one from India, and we certainly attracted a lot of attention. And many people in places such as India, but even more in some less developed countries, just don't have a lot of exposure to anything outside their own experience. And so this sparked a lot of conversations about what education is and what it means to be educated. And one takeaway from that is a lot of it comes from knowing that there are things that you don't know, and having the curious and confidence to explore those areas and the humility to know that they exist. So we did several conversations on this one, as linked from our Global School podcast on what is education. So traveling around the world is an amazing opportunity to learn about the diversity of humanity, but especially yourself. If you're always in the same environment, interacting with the same people and the same routine, you don't know if the mental models that you've built for yourself are actually resilient enough to withstand other circumstances. So it can be really easy to assume that you're right because your beliefs and your paradigm have worked for you in the past, but traveling can challenge those beliefs and help you build a better mental model of the world. So I highly recommend everyone to have the experience of traveling around the world, to get out of your comfort zone, meet new people, learn more about who you are. And India is an incredibly diverse country, and we've only just scratched the surface with our trip. But my main takeaway is just to remember how big the world is and how much more there is to explore. And while at times we don't know about the world, we don't know what we don't know about the world. That is only a bigger calling to explore. So, thank you for listening to my presentation.
All right. So, questions?
Feedback sandwiches.
We should definitely talk about that. I'm sure Alexia, did something pop up from that you want to ask a question about? Talk about it.
I'm not sure if there was much that I had like a question for, but I mainly found it just like very interesting, and I thought thought it was funny. I never even thought about those temples that are like in the hot sun all day, and then you have to put your foot on the stone.
When they told us that we had to take off our shoes,
Yeah, we were just like running across there, like
yeah, I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep going. I'm just gonna, it would take like 3 of those guys to take me down. But we went back. We took off our shoes, but wow, that was.
Yeah.
They were so kind. People there were so. Yeah. Sorry, that's me talking about our trip. But...
No, that's fine.
Can I ask a question?
Oh, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
Parents are definitely allowed to participate. This is free.
I was wondering, so I've been into different types of religious temples, churches, and I think it's interesting kind of the different feelings you get from one to the next. And I was curious, like, did it feel extremely welcoming? That's kind of what my assumption would be for something like a Buddhist temple, but I wondered how you felt about entering something that was different and new in that kind of realm.
Yeah. It was definitely very welcoming. There weren't too many people there, but it was pretty cool just like being there and seeing everything. And they actually gave us a book on the teachings of Buddha for free. That was nice.
Oh, they did lots of things. There was a janitor lady. She just said that her job was to sweep the place, and she was just taking us around.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then there was a guy who worked there that saw that Mboya was getting a little hot, and so he found the one air conditioner that was nearby, and like sat him down and was like taking care of him.
Oh,
It was very like, we're gonna take care of you.
Yeah.
And I didn't get the sense that it was because we look like foreigners. I got the sense that they were just doing that with everybody.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
like you were saying that like the struggle is what makes the trip meaningful, and it's like, yeah, I mean, I just don't know what to think of that, because it's like you like they went on a trade to travel from Chandigarh to Nagpur, and it like had a terrible bathroom, and I like didn't like, if I wouldn't have wanted to do that, and I just feel like,
of course you don't want to do those things. So yeah, but it was kind of like we took a 30-hour train from Chandigarh to Nagpur. If we just like teleported there, it would have been much less, like, I don't know, it was kind of like we came all this way, and it just adds like a lot more, meaning to it. And it's not just like, if you took out all of the uncomfortable aspects of the trip, I don't think it would have been nearly as, like, I guess, impactful and like meaningful.
yeah, I understand that, and I agree with you, but
You don't knowingly put yourself in difficult situations generally,
Yeah.
but if you look at like the way that human happiness generally works, you look at positive psychology, the study of it, and how brains acclimate, like you get into a stressful situation without hot showers, for example.
Yeah.
We noticed it, but it just wasn't that big of a deal after like a week.
Yeah.
We just got used to it. And it's the same way with people that are used to like high levels of stimulation with their cell phone or playing video games.
It's funny, people in America do cold showers on purpose.
And then you can tell people, because it's like,
yeah, look at me, I'm
I'm
doing cold showers.
I think Tristan might have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, not a question. I just wanted to say, you quoted the movie Peaceful Warrior, and I read the book version of that, Way of a Peaceful
You
Warrior.
did? Oh my goodness.
Dude, it's my favorite movie, which you'd think would mean I've read the book, but I don't read. No, I'm just kidding.
We've watched it like 5 times.
No, have you read the book? I haven't read the book yet.
Did you like the book? Tristan?
Yeah, I liked the book.
Cool.
It was a fun book.
I would do a joint project with you on the book if you want. I'll read it. If you want to do a joint project, we can do some takeaways. You could take 3, I'll take 3.
Wait. Daddy, you haven't read it?
I haven't read the book, no.
What? But you've like
I haven't seen the movie.
Oh my
You
goodness
got all the
sakes.
bases covered then.
You could watch the movie, I'll read the book, then we do the joint project. All right, we can talk about that.
Okay.
I Am Sweet though. No, I love that. I do. That movie is really great. If you guys haven't seen it. I mean, I like it. Other questions, thoughts for Sumay? Otherwise, we should probably keep going.
Yeah.